All right, so here we are in my graph. And again, I want to show you just 3 or 4 different examples of drafting pages that I use just to give you some ideas, and no right or wrong way to do this. Hopefully you take some ideas away here that you can apply in your own graph. So the first one that I'll click on here is this philosophy, big thinkers and big ideas. First thing I want to mention here is that this is a newer one. I haven't done as much work on this one as a couple of the others that I'm going to show you. A couple of months ago, I was on a philosophy kick, and so I was reading a whole bunch about different philosophers, and I started putting this page together, which I'm still very much working on. The main things I want to point out here are, you can see that, like on this particular page, I have headings that are organized by different philosophers. And for now, I haven't actually pulled a lot of stuff into this drafting page, but I've parked myself a note here to go ahead and pull in ideas from the literature notes here. And if I click on this and open it in the sidebar, you'll see that, excuse me, I've got some notes here and some breadcrumbs that I've put together about ideas from Heidegger. These are in various stages of development, but over time, as I come back to these, I will go ahead and start to pull some of these ideas over into my Big Thinkers and Big Ideas page and kind of develop them and start to link these ideas from across different sources together, again, organized under the different headings of the various philosophers. So that's the way that I have this particular drafting page organized. One other thing that I'll mention here on this page is that I have been using a sort of an inbox method here down in the linked references section. So you can see a whole bunch of articles that I have brought over from Readwise. And when those articles have come over, if I just click on one of these, for example, up here in the page metadata, I've gone ahead and added the philosophy, big thinkers, and big ideas page, as well as this inbox tag. So what that's going to allow me to do over time is, as I want to pull more of these ideas up and develop more writing on this page, I can go ahead and filter my linked references here to only show me things that are in the inbox and need processed. And then once I've processed those ideas, I'll go ahead and remove that inbox tag. So this is one example, again, of kind of an early stage drafting page that I am working on. If I jump back here, the next one we'll jump into, again, is pretty new one that I've been working on. This is one called Handles. And Handles is a concept that I've sort of coined for myself. The idea behind Handles is these are just tools for like getting a grip on my life and getting a grip on my work. So many of these are just sort of personal ideas that I'm developing. But you'll notice that if I click out and sort of expand on any one of these ideas, these are in various stages of development, by the way. So some of these have like very little under them. These are just things that I've quickly captured, but others have been developed a little bit more with some of my own writing up here. And then you'll see I have this supported by attribute where I've pulled in a couple of different linked references from my graph that sort of support this idea. So show you a couple of other examples here. Again, I've got my own writing here. And you can see, like in this one, I've pulled over a block reference to a quote, as well as a block reference from a project management book by Khalil Korzow, a member of the Rome community here. So as I'm kind of coming across ideas that I think relate to this concept of handles, this idea of sort of tools for getting a grip on my life, I will come in here and quickly jot those down. And then I can throw those page references under here. And when I'm ready to start drafting some more, again, I'll come back to this page. So that should give you another idea there. If I jump back here, we can jump into so sort of a meta example here. This is a drafting page that I was working on early in the development of the idea of the Vanilla Rome course. You can see I've got a whole bunch of drafting on this page. So various headings trying to organize things here topically on this particular page. So like on the philosophy page, I was using those headings organizing by different philosophers. On this one, I'm of course organizing by different topics that I want to cover. And I will harken back here to an idea that I mentioned, because this is a great example of where this is a very, very big drafting page. I've got a ton of information on here, so it can be very visually overwhelming. If all I want to do is say work on this section right here, then the thing I'm going to do is just come in here and I'll click right here on the block, and that'll bring me into this block focus. So again, now I get all of the benefits of sort of working in a dedicated page view. But if I ever want to jump back and see this block in context, I can go back here and see it there. So this is an example of a drafting page that has a lot more stuff on it, but you get the idea. These can be in various stages of development. The final example that I want to show is similar to the Vanilla Rome one. This is creating a high performance culture. So this is a workshop that I did at an industry event in the in the industry that I work in last year. And you can see very similar idea. I've got an outline here with headings that map to the different high-level topics that I was covering in the workshop. As I scroll down here, you'll see there's a whole bunch of different topics. One that I wanted to sort of call specific attention to was like this nudge theory section. So this was a section of the workshop where I talked about an idea called nudge theory. You'll notice I've got a bunch of different linked page references in here. So sort of pulling ideas in throughout the graph into these really project-driven or topic-driven drafting pages. So just to close this idea out here, I'll go back to the drafting page section, and you can see I showed you 4 different examples here, and each one of these is, as you'll notice, centered around a specific project or topic. And I want to reiterate something in closing here that I said on the last lesson is I think this is a fantastic way, in my experience, to get started with Roam. So if you're just getting started and you're kind of overwhelmed about how to approach your writing flow, one of the things that I would strongly recommend you do is go ahead and create a drafting page or two based on a specific project or topic of interest to you right now, and just start writing. Go ahead and start pulling in those block references and page references from throughout your graph into that central drafting page. It's going to allow you to cut through a lot of the complexity and not get completely bogged down in some of the more complex ideas of Roam, and it'll allow you to really focus on what matters, which is getting more writing done.